everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of the Right Reality Podcast. My name is Steven.
And I am Mixie. After a very long period of time, we have the Gigi and Blake interview from All-Star Shore, which was a while ago. I'm still in New York closet mode in this video.
She's in a New York closet kind of mode. I am also still here in the new Studio A. We thought we lost the interview. Hard drive went MIA. Hard drive has returned. It is very serendipitous that this weekend our boy Blake was on stage at Stagecoach performing. Unbelievable. And now we have this episode as part of our 250th episode week of celebration. Look at us. And this is from 8-ish months ago?
Yeah.
7-ish months ago?
Uh-huh.
So there might be some things that are slightly outdated, but there wasn't many of them. It was just about their time and all those type of fun things.
Let's watch it. Let's listen to it. Let's enjoy. Here is Gigi and Blake.
Back to Mixie's Closet!
Okay, well, welcome to Gigi and Blake. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk to us. I want to first start off by congratulating you both on making it through a reality show without crying. Congratulations, it's your first time.
That is my first time. That is my first time.
Both of your first time.
I don't even think I think
cried.
You happy cried.
I happy cried, and then I also cried when I went to the
You were in
emergency room.
pain.
I was going to say, you were in the ambulance, and I did get a split second of you crying, but we're going to get to that later, and we're not going to count that.
That's so true, though. I did not cry. Wow.
It's big.
So this show, obviously, one of the best shows happened to all time on television or on Paramount Plus, technically. It appeared to be like, how much were you told about like the original concept, and then how much was the concept like what you actually lived through? Because we saw it was like, oh, the ultimate party challenge. It was like, this sounds fun, and then we saw him like human beer pong. Let's go.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a lot of that. Like, well, what were you told? Like, what were you told?
So basically, I got the call when I was in Colombia, and I didn't hear like 90% of what it was. Like, all I heard was MTV, reality show. I was like, sign me up. And so I really didn't know anything until I pretty much got there. And they were like, yeah, so there's it's nothing too strenuous. Like, you're not going to have to, like Survivor it or anything. But I was like, okay, like, I'm not going to I'm not going to have to use my own body as a bowling ball, which I ended up having to do. No, not at all. I was like, all right, great. Sounds good. And then everything was a big surprise every single day because we could kind of like peek a little bit, and we just couldn't believe what the hell they were building, honestly.
Yeah. So was the exile stuff and like the Paradise Games, they were pretty close to where you guys were living, so you could kind of see what they were doing?
The exile was. The exile was to a degree, except for like the last one, I think, or the last. No. The big exile one. The big exile one. Uh-huh. But, so we could kind of see, but they would always kind of shoo us away from like that part, because it was like down the hill. But even if we could see it, we had no idea. You know what I mean? Like, we had no idea, like, the things they were doing down there. Like, you could kind of see, like, the only one that we could kind of tell was the one where you did roll down. We had an idea of, like, because they built this giant, like, pyramid step thing. So we were like, oh, it must be something about running up it. But for me, it was a little different because I was not as easy to say yes. It took me, like, I was like, I don't know if I ever want to do another show.
Well, yeah, you had a different experience background.
So it took a couple of calls, a couple of phone calls, a couple of emails for me to finally, because they had emailed me, and, we get emailed quite a few shows here and there. Like, some are just like, random like YouTube shows or Snap, so I usually just no. And then my manager hit me and was like, actually, they got this is going to be a pretty big show. It's got a big budget. It's on Paramount. Like, it's going to be pretty big. They had some big names. And so I was like, okay, I'll listen to them. And I listened to them, and I was like, okay, let's do it. But same, I knew it was a competition show. I didn't really understand the Exile Paradise game of it. They said there was going to be like rewards.
Right.
And then like, you'd have to be like shipped off to somewhere bad if you lose kind of thing. But I didn't realize there would be like an Exile competition to go to Exile, like all that. So, and the coolest part about it was, and she was lucky enough. She was an OG season, right? She was season 1, Love is Blind. She was kind of able to feel it out. And I've never been that. So this was cool for me because they were figuring out while we were figuring it out. You know what I mean? They were kind of like changing things up as they went because it was the first season. So in that sense, it was pretty exciting and a little different for me at least.
there were so many mixed reviews about that, and I was like, guys, like this is it. Like this is season 1 shit. Like, you roll with the punches, and like you're gonna die of hypothermia maybe, but it's you'll make season 2 better. So.
Yeah. I mean, because all of us were like quote unquote like professional like reality TV stars, quote unquote. So like some of these people are. We'll just say divas, like big time divas. So a lot of people were very kind of upset with how, kind of upset with how certain things went. But yeah, I was just kind of, you have to understand, like season 1, they're figuring out just like us, So in that sense, it was interesting.
I'm curious, what names did they have to tell you, Blake, for you to be like, all right, fine, I'll do it? Because Gigi didn't even hear anything, but you needed names in order to do it.
So they didn't actually.
Opposite.
They didn't give me names, but they gave me shows. So they mentioned like Jersey Shore. They didn't say Love Is Blind. But they mentioned like shores from all over the world, and I was like, that's really cool. Like that's something different. They mentioned a couple, The Circle. I didn't know it was like Marina, The Circle. I thought it was maybe American Circle, which they mentioned like other Netflix shows and things like that. And I was like, okay, like it's not like a bunch of random people from like, like, I don't know, what, some like a Snapchat show or like an HGTV or one of that, like some pretty big names. So I was like, okay, we do. And I'm not gonna lie, I got to that hotel and names started leaking. And I've said this a couple times, and I was like, what have I done? I was like, looking at some of these people and their Instagrams. I was like, oh my God, my career is ruined. What have I gotten myself into? So I was freaking out in the hotel room for sure.
I didn't know anything. I didn't know any leaks.
Really?
Nothing. I was like in that hotel room, just vibing out, reading my book, working out. And I was like, okay, like this will be fun. And then I just see everyone on the beach, and I know no one except for Angelina, and then I recognized you a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize anybody. Yeah.
No. I feel like that was probably a good thing, though. You don't have these like thought processes of who all these people are.
Yeah.
100%. Like I had no idea. Yeah. You didn't want to go, because it does happen. Like you go in, especially like Paradise, for example, like, in Bachelor Nation, like you go in with an idea of who this person is because of what they were on the show. And then sometimes they're worse or they're better, I don't, whatever it is. But so going in with a clean slate and a, kind of a clear lens, if you will, was really cool.
It was great. And I think that's what made us all be like, oh, I thought that, my first impression of you was going to be like this, but it wasn't. It was this. And then we all kind of became like a really big family at the end of it all, because we were just like,
yeah,
I don't know. We didn't have any preconceived notions about each other. And some of the people that were there, they've been on shows together.
Yeah, that's true. Some of them
years.
Were. Mm-hmm.
So they're already besties. So it was fun. It was cool to see.
It was different for us, yeah.
That's such an interesting dynamic. I'm curious if the partying that constantly happened helped that as well. And I want to kind of get into that. Were you guys actually partying pretty much every single night like it was shown?
Look at her eyes. Look at her eyes. She's like, oh,
every single night.
Because the next day you're waking up and doing physical, as you said, you're turning into a bowling ball and sliding down a Siemens staircase. Like you got a ton of stuff going on, and you're also dealing with a hangover.
Yeah.
It was very challenging to film, to be honest. Like very, very challenging. Yeah, it was. I would for people in my world, like I say, the Bachelor world, I say it's like Paradise, but instead of like sitting around and drinking and eating all day, like you're doing a very hard, extraneous, event, and then at night you have to party 1,000 times more than they party. It's not even close. Yeah. Like we're subject to 2 drinks an hour in Paradise.
Yeah,
that was not the rule.
There was no.
I feel like you had to drink 4 drinks an hour in All-Star Shore.
Excuse me, your cup looks a little empty. Let me just fill that up for you. This is a triple shot and a splash of Coke.
Yeah, we need it. Like by the end of the night, we're like, all right, like we need the energy. Like, where's the energy juice? Like,
yeah.
And so, if not, then we wouldn't be able to really carry on for that long. I mean, we had like, if you won the Paradise game, then you had a relaxing day and things like that.
Yeah.
But you're still filming too, so like you still have to like exert yourself. So it was just a lot packed into one.
It was by far the hardest show I've ever filmed for sure, but it was really exciting at the same time. It was quick filming, you know what I mean? It was like Bachelorette for me was 2.5 months. This was like
3 weeks, right?
I think it was 18 days. I think awesome. Of actually on camera.
Yeah. Awesome.
Iconic.
Yeah.
We kept saying as we were watching it, we're like, they just like it just took so long for like, we're like episode 5. I'm like, how many days is this? How many?
Maybe
I think this is
6.
5 days. This is insane. And on every other show, it's like 6 days or a week compacted into these things.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely wild.
I look at it back, and I was like, wait, we hooked up on the second day?
Yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, it was like, damn, we really figured it out.
I was like, you're there pretty quick.
Yeah, so it was, in that sense, also, it's like really impressive what the team was able to do. You know, like the producers and the production and everything, the way they were able to build things and create things. It was, I mean, every day we went down to that beach where we did the Paradise game, and it was something different every day. And like all the way they film it and the block, you know, they have like the lighting and the blockage and all that. It was impressive.
Full on like obstacle courses every single day. Yeah. By the end of it, like I had scales for skin because like the weather was so extreme. Yeah. It was like either freezing at night because it's like you're on top of this canyon, or it's blistering hot during the day and you're on the beach. So like by the end of it, I had like scales like all over. My nails were everybody was just beat to shit. Like bruises all over. I had a bruise like this big on my thigh, like hip area. Yeah, by the end of the 18 days, we're like, let's go. Let's get out of here.
The Canadian Islands was a wild island. Like for that the Exile game, or you know, the Exile that I did before her, we were in like a rainforest. I'm like, what the fuck? On the other side of the island, it's a desert, and the other side of the island, it's like a beautiful beach. It's kind of crazy that the island has so many different extreme environments. It's pretty wild. Well,
you mentioned the Exile that you did for her. Thinking back to it now, are we putting all the coins into that vending machine now?
100%. I'm going all the coins back in the vending machine. You know, looking back at it, I'm like, a fucking flip phone? You know, I'm like, a flip phone of all things.
In a claw machine?
In a claw machine. You know? Come on, man. There was no way you were going to get the phone. Even if you got the phone, they're going to be like, you didn't get the phone. You didn't get the phone. The phone didn't drop, okay? Yeah. You didn't get the phone.
That was such a brutal.
It's not charged. It's like, where the fuck did you charge it?
And literally, like, it was like so small, and I had it like once or twice time, but as soon as it gets to the top, or even halfway, and it kind of wiggles even a little, thing drops out of there. But it was actually a pretty spooky Exile. You know, we walked around and did all those things with those hanging, like, I don't know, witchcraft things, and then there's this random ass like arcade in the middle of it. It was a really cool setup. It was really fun.
I like low key wish I did it.
Yeah, I don't think you and Trina would have liked it very much. It was freezing cold.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
She ended up having to go to the hospital all day the next day.
Well, from the rash.
Yeah, from the rash. I'm like, glad I went before, else I would have to be doing the same thing. Anyway.
Well, be honest, Blake. Did you actually sleep in that forest? Because there's no chance in hell you guys actually slept in there. Look at him. No, he
plead
can't
the
say
fifth.
It. It's fine.
We know you can't.
Yes, no, the craziest part was, like, when we set everything up, right, I built this like tent, and there was a moment, like, I'm from the mountains, so I kind of know what I'm doing for the most part. And I actually started to start a fire. They gave us flints, and I don't think they thought I knew what it was. And I started like starting a fire, and production runs over like, no live flame, no live flame. I was like,
they thought you were Joey Essex. They're like, there's no way he's gonna know what he's doing.
I was like, where'd you give me flint? So we laid down there for like a while. I'll just say that. We were there for a very long time because, you know, the filming, it's unless you've ever been on one of those shows, it's kind of crazy how long like one scene will take because they have to get different angles and lighting, and you're just standing there or laying there or whatever it is. So it was intense. And I think we kind of mentioned earlier, but like we're getting up, like we were up before the sun every day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So like even if wherever we sleep, it's like 2 to 3 hours.
It really is. Yeah. But I did sleep in your bed all night.
That's what you said.
All night. I did. I slept in your bed all night, and every time I heard like a little creak or something, like I would run up and think that it was you. It was so lame.
Tell you what, it was probably a good thing. It was probably a good thing that I didn't come home because I really was angry. I really was angry.
Were you?
Because, yeah, I was. I was very angry just because, like, obviously, no sleep. I'm in Exile. It's cold as hell. They show me this video.
They plant that iPad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My mind's racing. There was a part where I think, was it Potro?
Potro was like, she doesn't even look like.
She doesn't look like she's Mrs. Lim or something like that, you know. So I would, and then, you know, you build it up and you just start getting a little angry and angry and angry. And I think, weirdly enough, it's a blessing in disguise, a little behind the scenes. I pulled up literally as she was, so I pulled up back that next morning as she was leaving for the hospital. And had she not left for the hospital, I think I would have been a little bit more angry. And I think production kind of fucked that up because I think they wanted me to be super. So I think I would have been pretty angry and like pulled her aside and been like, what the fuck? But what happened was she left. I went and got food. I got some water, took a little power nap, and then I felt a little bit calm. So in that sense, it was an interesting, like, and the production, I think looking back, are probably like, we should have G stay for 10 more minutes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, honestly, like, they didn't, no one, I was on drugs. I went to the hospital to get IV'd and, you know, whatever little painkillers they gave me. So it's like, yeah, I was going to have a good time. I was going to ride that wave out. Like,
hey, if they're going to give it to you, might as well enjoy it, you know?
So that's why I was having a good time. And then the next morning, I was just like, yeah, I can't feel my leg.
Slight problem here, guys. Can't feel my leg. Just, you know, not sure how this affects filming at all, but can't feel my leg.
Rash all over my body.
It was a wild few days there at the end. It was crazy.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like a clusterfuck towards the end of it, but a very enjoyable one.
Yeah. That makes it so good.
Yeah. That's exactly what makes it so good.
We have spoke at length about how much we enjoyed this show. Mixie, from the first poster, she read like the article. Oh, these people are going to be on. She's like, oh, we're going to recap that. I'm like, okay, you know, that I think we got 6 months. It wasn't a question.
I didn't even ask him. I was like, we are doing this. It's not a do you want to? It's a we are doing this situation.
It really is an amazing show. Like from top, like it was one of the funniest shows I think I've ever seen on television. And just like the weird, like so what I really liked about it, and one of my everybody's favorite parts of like Bachelor season is when they show the bloopers. And I feel like our entire season was just bloopers. Like it showed those moments of us messing up, of like cameras falling or people falling or whatever it was. Like they showed that in season. And I just love the way the show was edited. I really like they kind of broke the fourth wall a couple times. Like I just really liked the way it was edited and produced.
Fully agree. It felt really real. It was really like a real reality show. I mean, Steven and I love reality TV. We've watched a ton of it. I've watched both of your guys' seasons. Blake, I've watched two of yours, and Gigi, the one of you. I mean, we know that it's so heavily produced, and this just did not come across that way at all, and that's why it was so enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm hoping, you know, I mean, it did well. Like, don't get me wrong, it did well, but I'm hoping that they're going to continue to do it next seasons and people, because I know, you know, Fuckboy Island is another fantastic show, and first season didn't do too well, but second season's gained more momentum, and I think it's just going to continue. So I'm hoping that's what happens with our show is people, I know there are a lot of people that watched it, but I think like I wish more people would have, because it's I feel like they're missing out. You know what I mean? I feel like the audience.
I agree.
Is missing out. Yeah.
We tell the people that all the time. It's their loss that they're not watching it. It's on them.
We cover 2 shows usually at one time, if the challenge is on, which is our main show, and we're telling people, like, if you're watching the challenge, you need to watch this, because this is like old school original challenge where we're just doing dumb shit, but we're enjoying it, and we're just let the cameras roll. Nothing is like, it's just absolutely fantastic.
I had a lot of people actually say that to me. It was like old school challenge. And it was like back to when before the show like was giant and all these people were coming on for different reasons or whatever. And it was just, it really was fun to film too.
Oh,
like it wasn't just like that. Like you said, it felt very real. That's because it was like, we were having a lot of fun. And the drama was real. Like the drama was real. Vanjie, like over the top, and like, you know, the Chloe and Marine, like that was all very, very real.
It felt real. You can usually tell, and we're like, oh, they really don't like each other right now, and we're here for this. I'm here for an entire episode when nothing actually happened. It was just people yelling. I'm like, I don't think this has ever happened on television before. Everybody's just yelling for an hour, and then it's over. This is great. How is this not the highest rated show on TV? What's going on?
I know. I watch it too. And I'm just like, God, I wish more people watch this, because they would love it. And everybody that does watch it loves it. You know, they like, oh my God, it's fantastic. So yeah, I'm hoping it'll just gain more and more momentum. Yeah. And I wish they would throw it on like MTV or something, or network television a little bit, and it gain a little steam.
Listen, you got to clear it with Rob Dyrdek. You got to clear it with Rob before it goes on. So just
either Rob or the shore, you know, some of the Jersey, they run that.
Yeah. He knows where the bodies are buried at MTV. So just ask Rob, and Rob will let you know. So speaking of people who watch it, my mom watches it. My mom watches all the shows. So mom had a question. First of all, she's very happy for both of you. Finds you both very attractive.
Tell her
so
thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah. She wants to know what, if any, slang did you learn from the Brits? Because the Brits have like so many things. We learned the whole fanny thing this year for a lot of the American audience that didn't understand.
The fanny thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We say this every single day. It's like shite man.
We still say that. I always say like stuff like if we're like working out and I'm hurt or something, I'm like me leg. Or I'll say like, me back.
Yeah.
What's another one? There's another one we say. Fit. So when like she's looking fit, I'll be like,
fit bird. Yeah, you fit bird.
I didn't know that it meant sexy. You know.
Yeah.
And like fit.
What else?
What are some other ones? We always say Kareem. You know, Kareem is just one of the funniest humans alive.
Hilarious.
And
my God.
Yeah, she would say gorgeous.
She would say gorgeous. So we just like we literally say that every day, and then we also comment it on each other's stuff. Like I love that we have so many inside jokes because of all the weird shit that everyone said. And just if you say anything in Vanjie's voice.
Yeah, anything in Vanjie's voice. Yeah. It was very fun. Yeah, it was really cool.
Well, you guys said, Blake, you said specifically that you guys broke down a lot of walls. So now that you guys are comfortable together, has Blake Lively made an appearance since you've left the show?
I don't want to spoil it. No, I don't want to spoil it. There is something coming.
Okay.
That's going to be really, really funny here in about 2 months, month and a half.
Yeah.
It's going to be really funny, and I think,
Oh my God, what a day to ask.
Blake Lively. Yeah, because we kind of did it today. Like, we checked it out a little bit. We did a little.
Outfit check.
Yeah.
Not
fun.
saying it may or not be associated with a certain date in a certain month that people party at. Maybe. But, you know, maybe. Wow. Look at us. See?
Oh, I mean, it was one of my favorite parts. You guys, on our show, we have Ass of the Week. I crown Ass of the Week to people every week. Gigi, you got it when you were face down, ass up on the massage table, and Blake Lively obviously had to get Ass of the Week.
Yes,
so you guys are both winners.
There's a sound, too. There's a sounder, too, for Ass of the Week. It's all produced. So, you know, because big time DJ, like I feel like I should pull it up.
Yeah, you'll have to send it to me.
We'll send it to you and see what you think about the mix of it. Yeah.
Very important.
That was a fun night because it was really cool to see. There, you know, a lot of us in the like pretty much everybody had, you know, a bit of a like, I don't know the word I'm looking for, like not diva, but like a bit of a, you know, we're all quote unquote known. Like we're not random people like on Love Is Blind or Bachelor or whatever. We all have
a following.
Yeah, and just like a bit of a like I don't know what's
ego.
That's what I'm looking for. We all had a bit of an ego.
So to watch all the men put on like dresses and put on makeup and just really get along with, or just go along with the whole drag show of it all, like you really saw people be like, I don't know, and they just go all in.
Yeah.
And once you guys went all in, it was.
Everybody, Joey still had some trouble with it a little bit, but it was funny.
But he was drunk. He was drunk, you guys. Come on, he was drunk. He was drunk, you guys.
Right? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
The make believe alcohol he drank.
Yeah, he drank so much alcohol. I forgot about that. But there was a moment where one of the producers, because I was definitely one that was like, I'll do whatever they kind of ask. Like if it's fun and stuff like that, I'll do it. You know, there was like moments throughout the season they asked me to do certain things. And one of the producers came up to me and they were like, okay, we're gonna have some fun tonight, but like I need you to like really be into it to get these other guys into it. And there was a moment when like Johnny wasn't too sure and Poach wasn't too sure, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'll do it. I was like, where's the makeup? I was like, G, get a dress.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I'll do it. So it was a really fun moment for all of us to like let go of our egos, let our walls down, and just have fun. Did
you enjoy applying the makeup? Was that like, were you like, oh, if I was not in before to this man, I am so in now.
That did it for her. That was the end. That was end game right there.
I get it.
Yeah. Like, wow, I really like a man in a dress. No, but it was really cute because we bonded over that. So I was like putting on your makeup, and you also started being like, oh, now I get it why you guys take forever to get ready. This isn't easy. And I was like, shut up, let me put eyelashes on you.
Yeah, you can't talk while I'm doing this.
He's like, how do you see in these things?
Yeah, or the heels. The heels. I don't know how women walk in heels. Holy cow. Yeah. I about blew my ACL a couple times.
Like size 13.
Jeez. I
did it.
Everywhere. Yeah, I
You did it well.
That was a fun night.
The death drop.
Yeah, the death drop. I'm still sore from that, I swear.
That was a long fall. Like, you were up high.
Yeah. My legs, my knees were hurt for a couple days.
Was it one of those things at the time you're like, I can do this, I'm athletic, and then you did it and you're like, well, never mind, different type of athleticism.
Yeah, I was like, never doing that again. Yeah, it was one of those moments for sure.
I don't know how you didn't just completely blow your back out.
Yeah, and I didn't even know what it was until a couple nights before Vanjie had mentioned it, and I think he might have done one like on the bed or something.
So what happened was, I knew that there was a thing called a death drop because they asked, "Oh, do you know what these things are?"
Oh,
and I was like, "Do you know what a death drop is?" And you go, "No." And so I got on the bed and I taught you, and we practiced it. Yeah. And then
who thought I would be doing it in a dress and heels a couple days later?
Yeah.
We practiced death drop while you were also on the bed. Yeah. Yeah. You're going to lay here, and then I'm going to death drop upon you. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's still nothing's happened. Still nothing's happened. We're fully clothed. We're good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have to get to an issue that I took up with the show. This late team switch that was definitely planned.
Yes. You're saying you think they picked people?
No, I'm saying we think that they were planning on keeping the teams the way they are the whole time. And then something happened.
Somebody may have decided, hey, I'm going to walk if nothing changes here. I know you're probably not going to come out of that. That's fine. But did it hurt you to see your original teammates in the final and you're just like, hey, like I
got you there.
I got you here, my guy.
It was funny because, like you said, it was the first seasons, right? So we had no idea the whole time. We were trying to guess what was going. We thought more people were going to come in. We thought maybe like teams would start to get like kicked out and bring new. We had no idea what to expect. So the whole time we were like, "What's going to happen? What's going to happen?" And me and James finally win a fucking Paradise game, right? We've been like second. We finally win one. We're all excited, and we don't get a pick. Who goes in the Exile game. But a lot of people think that the way, because I saw tweets and everything out there, the way teams were picked afterwards was like
premeditated.
Yeah, premeditated. But like that shot glass really was a start. Maybe that like Marina got the shot glass because she was in last. But like it was just random. We grabbed for shot glasses. Yeah. That star was Marina just happened to have it.
The first time that we all picked teams.
Yeah. But listen, I was bummed. Like me and James were dominating. I think we would have ran away with the competition. I think. Yeah. I think we would have ran away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
And even I remember that first day, like when we drew the rafts and me and James were together and we were playing that ping pong and I remember production being like, when we beat the first team with like 3, like right away, you see a production go, oh fuck. Like, oh shit, they're going to like dominate this whole show, So maybe they decided to change the rules halfway through. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
You think that was planned the whole time?
Basically, I guess the question is, do you think that was done because of the situation at the house at the time?
No.
No.
I don't think so either. I think maybe they had that in the callop, like like in the barrel, if you will. Like, hey, if it's getting blown out, we can do this. But if it's going good, maybe we'll leave it. But I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I really don't know either. But I think that, like he said, there was always this like option that they could throw this into the mix if they felt like they needed to do it for like competition purposes. Like, who is going to win now? Because, it is like a whole time.
And the way it worked with like, then all of a sudden there was like 4 people tied at the top or whatever it was. Like even the way that teams were picked, it was wild the way and the very end, the finish, like it was just crazy. Like being there while it was filming, being like, how is this happening exactly like this? Like it was
literally
pretty wild.
Had nothing to do. Well, not nothing, but it was very even as far as like bodily strength and like mental strength and just, being able to use a lot of different talents on these challenges. So I would literally just be like, anybody can win this game. Anybody at that point. Because like once you start realizing like who's winning and like, oh my God, they lost. Like you start to see really like in real time, like, holy shit, literally anybody can win this game. So that was like the exciting part about it. And yeah, anybody
did win the game.
Yeah.
How does it feel to win a challenge and then have a Paradise reward, which you guys had obviously the sexiest Paradise award ever created on the face of the earth, the sexiest 20 minutes of television ever on the face of the earth. Did it feel as awkward to be in that pool with those two as it did watching those two to be in the pool?
It was just at that point we all knew who Cream A was.
Yeah.
You know, so like it wasn't shocking. If that was like day one, I would have been like, what the hell? I was like that day one, and I was like, where is
Oh, yeah. Blake, your
it.
facial expressions in the background of the first 2 days was everything.
I was just so shook. I was like, I'm not on ABC anymore,
You were around a bunch of people that you would just never dealt with anything like that on television. It was great to see.
We kept saying when we would have a facial expression be like, all right, it's 1626. He was thinking this. I'm not on Disney's networks anymore. This would not be allowed on Disney.
Not on Disney anymore. Yeah.
Where is Chris Harrison?
Yeah. When is he gonna pop out and stop all this?
He needs to stop all this madness right now.
The best one was when Marina threw that drink. I think I was just like, no, fuck.
Oh, that was the icing on the cake. Yeah.
You're oh my god, it was crazy.
People
but
were oh my god.
Yeah, it was.
We
it
were
was
just tearing
nuts.
that whole place apart.
It was just nuts.
But no, I mean, it wasn't awkward. We knew who they were at that point, and they.
And I think they knew. They James mentioned, we're on spring break.
Yeah,
I think they knew too. We're gonna really play into they're gonna be all cute and lovey dovey, and we're gonna suck a banana out of my pants. I was like, yeah. It was one of those. So it was fun because we were just we were kind of egging them on almost. Do it. Yeah. We were yeah. So
I can see that, and I appreciate that. That.
We were trying to make good TV,
You did. You did.
Very much so.
Steven, I don't know about you, but I'm a little bored. Let's start some drama.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay. All right, Miss Gigi, what actually happened on what we have coined the semen staircase? Were you actually injured? What was the diagnosis? What were you told? Were you told you weren't allowed to go back to be in exile, or did you actually come back after he had left? What happened?
Yeah, so that whole game was my biggest nightmare, honestly.
Yeah.
I already had an injury. And so I knew that this was just going to make it even worse. And anyway, so they gave me the option. They were like, either you forfeit or you do it. And I was like, mama didn't raise no bitch. So I got on top of on the staircase. And your whole body is just going down these wood logs.
They tried to put pads, but honestly, it just
they gave me knee pads, a helmet, and that's it. Everything was just really hard contact, and whatever that slime was, which did look like semen. So
yes,
great organization with that.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
And I at the end of it, I was just like, wait, why is my body why am I burning? Why am I burning? So the last time that I went down the stairs, I really hit my hip really bad, and I yelled.
She yelled
really
so loud,
I was
fuck!
I was like,
I was
damn
like, oh
it.
shit!
I was like, I almost made it through the whole challenge without hitting myself, and so I did that. Then my skin just started burning, and I was just telling cameras, I was like, you have to fix me now because I see just bumps forming. My leg that I already have an injury. I have to call my doctor. I called my doctor. It was a very stressful time. And luckily, I was able to go to the hospital, and they looked at me, fixed me up, wiped me down, give me medicine.
What time did you get back?
I got back after the sun went down.
Oh, so it was dark.
And so, yeah, it was dark. And so I was telling them, I was before I went back in, I was like, all right, well, time to go to exile. And they're like, okay, yeah, go.
Yeah, just walk in there.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I feel better now. Send me to exile. I'm not gonna let Trina go there by herself. Hell no. I would ship me off there right now. She's there. And then they're like, no, Blake took your spot. And I freaking was that was the most romantic thing ever.
Yeah.
I was like, no way, that's the sweetest thing. But no, I was fully ready to go, and see what hell they'd made up, but they just didn't give me the opportunity. And you'll see. I don't know, maybe you see it in like the last couple of episodes, but like there was a bruise like this massive.
I saw it.
Yeah.
On my thigh. So I was just
like, Angelina both
okay. Like I wasn't, being, scared about it. It was
well, you were taken out by Johnny on like an incline. So
Johnny, I was like, Johnny just rolled. He was just like.
Yeah, he's watched those shows. He's watched ESPN 8 The Ocho when they have the slippery stairs on there. He was like, I know what I got to do. You just spread out and just take everybody out.
I didn't mean to. I was like, bullshit, yes you did. I was like, honestly, I probably would have done the same thing, but still, I'm pissed that you did.
It was. Yeah, your whole body is like, you're just a human bowling ball.
And I remember, I don't think production thought it was going to be that easy as far as like getting up it, because Bonnie's like got up in like 5 seconds, and because they even said like if you can't at the beginning of it, they're like if we can't finish it, they said something about like if you can't finish, we're gonna do something else. So I didn't think they thought it would be like up and down like that. I thought it was gonna be a little harder.
I was using my nails
to claw in,
inside. It was just wild.
Well, what's interesting is those like have you seen those like Japanese shows that kind of do that?
Yes.
Well, they do make it seem like super hard, like it's impossible to get up. But I think those steps are maybe I don't know what the difference was, but for some reason, Johnny's a freak athlete.
Yeah, he's a freak athlete.
But he just got up there in 5 seconds. I was like, damn.
There were pockets of slime in areas, but then after he did the whole human knock everybody out, it was like
Trina got taken out pretty bad too.
Yeah, Trina got taken out, and Angelina.
Angelina was very bruised up. Both her legs were swollen so much. It
really messed everybody up.
Yeah, it messed us up. That was the one challenge where I don't think they do that again.
No.
Well, yeah, it took 3 of the 4 people out.
Yeah.
And Johnny was all rashed up too, but he just didn't. He's like, what are they going to do at the hospital, kind of thing. But he was rashed up too.
No, at that point, like I told you, I'd gone through like severe sunburn. I was already like at my end, and then that happened to me, and I was like, like I need like absolutely not.
So you said you had to call your doctor back at home. How does that conversation go on the phone? Like, how do you explain what you did? How many times did you have to describe it? Were you like, listen, I'm about to tell you a wild story?
I don't know, like 20 dudes from the area came. They stood at the top of the staircase. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Then I had to climb it.
Yeah. There were acorns at the top for some reason. I don't know. Pine cones, whatever the fuck they were. Yeah. No idea.
But I almost won money. I almost wanted to pick up. I wish. No, but I literally just picked up the phone and I was like, I fucked up. It's like, remember everything you told me not to do? Well, I did it.
And now I'm calling you to inform you about it. Okay, have a good day.
Yeah.
Was the hospital as janky as Angelina said it was? Well, you did too, I believe.
Yeah.
You said it was pretty shit.
I'm like really like nice about that kind of stuff. Like it was clean. Like, it wasn't anything that I didn't feel like they were going to take care of me as. But
yeah,
I spoke Spanish. I speak Spanish. So I was actually able to communicate with like the doctors and the nurses, and I was actually able to be like, hey, give me some answers. Whereas like everybody else couldn't. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't, even if they did answer them, they're like, I can't understand you. So it was just like a very unorganized experience for them. I was fine. I was like, oh shit. It's like,
yeah,
like I'm at a hospital, everyone just speaks Spanish. So,
I mean, Angelina would think the Taj Mahal's janky. I mean,
that is true. That is true.
So, yeah.
Different people.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, it depends on where you're coming from to kind of dial you into that type of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I wanted to get into a little bit the Chloe and Joey drama. You two seem to stay out of the drama, which is probably so nice for you to not be involved in that. But there has been a lot of rumors flying around about what actually happened with them. And then I know that Ricardo and Vanjie even were posting some things on Instagram that were kind of like, oh, you guys don't know the whole story. Can you tell us anything about that?
I mean, so like you said, we kind of missed, and even like a lot of that happened when we were like in ITMs or we were off doing our thing. So we missed honestly quite a bit of that.
I missed the beginning of it, but I caught the end of it. And it was just like, so random to me.
Well, and I think what Ricardo and Vanjie were speaking on a little bit was just like there were rumors going around that like Chloe kind of like faked her leg, and that she like later on she was like just she wanted more screen time, so she acted like she liked Joey. I have no idea if any of that's true, but I think that's maybe what Ricardo and Vanjie were kind of speaking on.
Okay.
There's
because that was hinted at.
Yeah, and I think there's still a little bit of bad blood between them, but I
mean, they just known each other for so long, Joey.
Yeah.
It was like, a weird ending to that.
It was weird.
And the way Chloe left even was kind of shocking to us. Like, we didn't even...
to you guys. I would walk in, because I was in the girls' room, when she was speaking about... I don't know if they said it on the show. Like, why she left.
They said family problems.
Yes, but she was having...
Yeah, we'll honor that and not have you say
and I didn't even know she was having family issues.
Problems all the time. Yeah. That's why I didn't also, like... Get in on her because I was just like, she's going through a shit ton right now. Like, this is nothing compared to what she's going through.
Yeah, like I had no idea until after we got home, I think.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, good God, I had no idea she was going through that too. So in that sense, like I don't know why it just didn't become like a thing that we talked about as a house. But it was kind of kept under wraps and then, it's Chloe's, deal. Yeah. It's her decision. So when you know that, then it's like, oh shit, she did go through a lot. She was going through a lot at the time. Maybe people would have treated her a little differently. I don't know. Yeah. But
I mean, I knew.
Yeah.
Because I just overheard it all the time, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not.
Yeah. So, but it was Vanjie really was angry at time, like very, very, very angry at Joey, and that bed thing where that whole thing, it was.
Yeah.
Vanjie was
that seemed to be like there was definitely something else going on. He wasn't just mad about her sleeping in that room.
No, that was like the straw, that both get.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense.
All have one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We all for sure. Yeah.
So it was made to be that my family's from England, so I'm aware of who Joey Essex was before this show, and I was like, okay. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So when he came in, like, did you think we got an accurate representation of who Joey Essex is? Because he's a big personality, but I also think like he can be very polarizing, but also like he knows how to turn it on when he needs to.
So my whole like perspective on Joey is I love Joey. Like I love Joey. Joey Essex pisses me off, but I love Joey.
That's fair.
I feel like, I mean, you got a bit of Joey, but like Joey as a whole, he's such a caring and smart and like really like sensitive individual, honestly. So I don't think that was the whole picture. He's been on TV his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely knows how to turn it on for sure. And he knows that the character that he wants to play.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll say, like it seemed, obviously I don't know who Joey Essex was before. I don't know his roles on other shows, so maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed like this was kind of the first time that he was like a full on villain. Like, at times he was like a villain. And I remember there were moments where I kind of pull him aside and he just seemed flustered and he was just kind of like, dude, I don't like everything I do. It pisses somebody off. Like, I don't know what to do. Yeah. So I think in that sense, maybe it was something new for him and he was kind of like handling that role for the first time.
And he got pied and he's never been pied.
Yeah, because pied. That's another one. Pied means dump. She was like, you've never been dumped before. So just like things like that. I think he was a little bit out of his comfort zone but he definitely knows how to play a role and knows how to play a character, and he's very good at it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So he was pied because he was dumped by Angelina, technically, I guess, is what we're saying.
And G, like he actually went after G there.
Really?
Went after G there at the beginning. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Blake coming out on top. Look at you go.
Yeah, coming in on top.
You won.
Yeah.
You didn't win money, but you got the girl.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man.
But I think at the end of the day, like Joey is a good dude, and he has been through a lot. I mean, and coming from somebody who's been on TV for 4 years, I can't imagine being on TV for like 10, 12 years. It really would change you and affect you in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. Being like the center of it, it's just a lot.
Yeah, he has like his own show and shit. Yeah, so it's kind of crazy.
He's a good dude. Cool dude. We love Joey.
Yeah.
There's an interesting thing there. I mean, me and Mixie went back forth all year about him, and I'm like, oh, you better buckle up, ladies, because he's coming in and he's not used to getting rejected. This is not his thing.
Oh, that was like his trigger.
Yeah. I think he was a little flustered the whole time, just like with like losing, and then he wasn't the biggest star, and then he got done, and then he was the villain, and I think he was just kind of like, what is happening on the show for me,
Yeah.
So let's talk then about previous shows and stuff like that. Blake, your previous show seems to have, this is a question I've thought for a long time, and me and Mixie have just talked about it off air and stuff like that. I feel like your show has lots of like preseason, during season, postseason drama that follows these people. It's almost like a full, season sport like the NFL is. There's always something going on, while other shows don't have that. So as somebody who's gone through it, do you think this is from the people that are cast for the show? Is this the fans of the show? Is this the fact that, it helps sell clicks on websites? There's podcasts devoted to this. Is it a perfect storm? Like, what is it? Because those things exist for the other shows, but it just doesn't make sense why The Challenge doesn't have it. Big Brother, Survivor, all these other shows don't kind of have this pre-post season situation.
Yeah, it is. It's like Bachelor Nation, and that's like a thing. It's not just like people like it's like it really is a thing. And I had no idea going into it. Like I knew a lot of people watched the show, but I didn't know to the extreme and like the passion behind it. And I think one of the biggest, I definitely think it's the fans. Like I definitely think I think you could throw anybody on that show, and I think they do throw anybody on that show, and there's still this. Honestly, and it's become the off season is crazier now than the show itself. Like people only watch the show to be in on the off-season drama. Like that's really honestly what it's turned into. I think the rise of social media did that for sure. It's a lot of quote unquote like pretty people, young people, sometimes most of the time rich people. And that's why I like Selling Sunset and all the, it's like pretty rich people who have a lot of drama and diva. Like it's just, I think it just kind of, it's part of it. But I also think 24 years of this show has built such a fan base, such a core fan base that it's just hard to beat. And Big Brother's been around, Survivor's been around forever. I don't know what the difference. I don't know the answer to that as far as like
sex.
Why.
Yeah,
love
because they're all banging each other.
Yeah, and the happy endings and the Bachelor Paradises of it all, and it's like they fall in love with these people in a very intimate, deep level because they're like being very vulnerable, and then they're rooting for you because they want you to find the love of your life, and then it's also like a scandal when they don't, and when this one hooks up with that one, it's just like a whole bunch of sexy people having sex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think Love is Blind will get there. Like I think it'll get there. I think within we go 5, 6, 7 seasons. I think Love is Blind is going to have that kind of off season. But right now you have 2 seasons in, and there's just no real off season. But I will. What was I going to say?
For you, there wasn't a real off season.
Yeah.
Hey-o!
He took no breaks.
Yeah. And I also think too, contestants are starting to play into it a little bit. Like I think you have these meetups, right? You have these contestants hanging out together just to get clickbait, to get relevant. And so I think it's just like I said, I think it's a perfect storm. I think it's just a perfect storm of all these things. But unfortunately, I think it maybe come to an end, or it will soon. I think it's a bit of circling the drain unless they move to stream. Like I just see the show kind of going downhill a little bit. And I'm not just an old head saying that. Like I do.
No, you're right. That's not opinion. That's just a fact.
Yeah. I think it's on its way out. I think they might have to change a few things and go maybe streaming services, but the idea of the show will never go away. Like it's a wild, brilliantly scripted or unscripted show as far as like one guy dating 30 girls. Like it's so dramatic. Yeah, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So dramatic, and it's a good show. It is. It's a lot, and it's done a lot for a lot of people, and it's ruined a lot of people's lives too. But it's done a little bit of both. Yeah.
Yeah. Same with Love is Blind.
Yeah. Totally, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely it's sexist, and it's all of those things, and looking back, like watching the first few seasons, like I've had friends go back and they're like, some of the things that they said and did like would not work today. And I'm like, this is the fact that one man can date 30 women on television and vice versa. Even that's outdated, it's such a crazy thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to get into a little bit more on like the production side of things, and I want to also bring in Love is Blind on this. So with The Bachelorette, with Paradise, with Love is Blind, What would you say was the difference of how production approached All-Star Shore compared to how they approached your guys' original shows, and why you think it showed to us exactly what we were saying in the beginning, so much more real, so much more fun, just so much more enjoyable to watch because it wasn't, quote, unscripted. It was actually unscripted.
I mean, my experience was very different than yours, but like I felt with Love is Blind, I guess it just depended on my producer, because my producer was very much like, go with it. But then when I was being crazy, she was like, okay, you have to explain why you're being crazy. But in this, nothing was told, nothing was said. Like, it was literally just waking up, there's a camera in your face, and you do the whole day, and you don't talk to a single person about it, and you just drink and have fun. And so it was just like zero production with like producing the cast, none of it.
Did you like that, or was that like a little like, especially for you, Blake? I mean, you had to be like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? You're not." What?
Yeah.
Are you deaf? Are you mute? Like, what's happening here?
There was actually a moment where I think I had one interview in 5 days, and I was like, they hate me. I was like, they hate me. I'm getting
being cut out.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm getting edited out of this show. I'm like, yeah, it was very different for me because we do like 2, 3, 4 ITMs a day.
Oh yeah.
You know, on Bachelorette, steering you in a way. So it was very different for me, and I think I mentioned it in the past podcast stuff. Like, they're not allowed to. Like, there's money on the line, and it's like illegal to produce and manipulate contestants.
Oh, it's almost like I've been saying that for 6 years about the challenge when people think it's fixed. There's money on the line. It's like FCC stuff. You can't do that.
It went all the way to the Supreme Court, and they lost. You know what I mean? Like, it is illegal to help steer or whatever contestants when there's money on the line. So that was, and as soon as I heard that, because I had walls going up, I think it was the first night. Yeah. They sat us all down. We went through paperwork, and they had said this, and like instantly my walls kind of were like, "Oh, good God, that's amazing to hear," you know. Yeah. So in that sense, it was very different, and I enjoyed this filming concept or strategy, whatever you want to call it, a lot more than my past episodes.
Well, I mean, Blake, honestly, when I saw you on the poster, I was shocked because I know that you've been very outspoken about your treatment in production and all of that, and it kind of seemed like you were done. You had written off reality TV because of how you were treated, which I don't blame you at all. I was really surprised to see you on there. What was said or almost like promised to you to change your mind on reality TV and really take this leap?
Yeah, it wasn't an easy leap for me. I think it was just a wild like turn of events. You know, like they had emailed me multiple times, they had called me multiple times. I've been DJing all over the world, and it just happened to be that I only had to cancel like 2 shows in that 3-week period. So I was like, dang, that actually works out pretty good. It was the December, it's a slow time for clubs and everything in December around the holidays. It was a competition show, and I was like, I would do maybe a competition show for money. When I would never do, obviously, especially now, but like I told myself I'd never do a love show. I'd never do another dating show. So I think it was just the perfect storm of these weird coincidences and the timing of everything. And it obviously worked out, and I'm so glad I did it. But even I surprised myself. When I said yes, it was like instant anxiety. I was like instantly anxious. I was like, what have I done?
I'm sure.
And I was in the hotel. And I remember before I walked down to the beach, we were kind of at the top, and I remember just like kind of freaking out, like, oh my God, here we go again. I was like shaking, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Total PTSD.
Yes.
That's why we were shocked. We were shocked, man. Yeah. I was like,
Paradise picture came out the other day. It was hard.
Oh yeah.
And I literally saw the picture, and my heart started racing. Like, that show just messed me up so much that it was so brutal. It was so brutal.
I will say this because I don't want to backtrack, and I know Steven has the audio to pull on me if he needs to.
Oh, it's locked and loaded.
I hated you on Bachelor. Hated you, Blake. And then on Paradise, I actually started to like you because I could see that you were being forced into something that wasn't actually you. I could see in your eyes, I could see the way that it was produced, that they were putting you in a box that wasn't you. And then I was so happy to see you on All-Star Shore as what I thought was actually who you were. And I feel like we finally got to see who you were. Would you agree with that? Or would you say that you changed who you were from what I called as a gaping vagina in The Bachelorette to who you are now?
No, All-Star Shore was definitely more of me. Like, I am, like a lady.
I got her good on that one.
She didn't think that was coming.
Like I see it.
Welcome to our podcast. Welcome to our podcast.
Running through my head, I was like, yes, I got a new nickname.
And
Us Weekly isn't doing that in an interview, guys. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. No, I definitely think All-Star Shore was more of myself. Like, it was more of me being like, and I was on the beginning of The Bachelor before I started to lose my mind towards the end. Like, I was that guy who was kind of like in the back, like watching things happen and like laughing and just like spending time with Becca kind of thing. And then as it went on, I started to like lose my mind because it's such a weird environment to be in.
Well, they do that to you on purpose.
Yeah. So, and I was fully in love. And so like, yeah, that was a weird, both those shows were very extremes, I think. And I fall somewhere in between, which I think is what All-Star Shore showed. Like I fall in between those two extremes. And I think that's what I was on All-Star Shore. Like I was just myself and I was like having fun with G and, and like, I was enjoying seeing the drama and watching the drama, but I wasn't in it. And that's more of me.
Yeah. And I guess, Gigi, the same thing for you. They kind of painted you on Love is Blind as someone that was almost like willing to just kind of take whatever to be around people. And then we see you on All-Star Shore and all these guys are throwing themselves at you and you're like, fuck no, I don't want any of this. Smoke. So, like, again, do you feel like you grew from who you were from the beginning of Love is Blind to who you are now when we saw you on All-Star Shore? Or was that the same person? They just kind of were showing us a different view to tell a story?
Wow, great question.
Thanks so much.
I've definitely grown since Love is Blind. Like, I'm not the same person. I just feel like I've like matured, and also I'm still like passionate and I yell, and I mean Blake will vouch to that. Like I'm still someone that like will follow the stars and talk like I'm in poems or riddles or whatever. So it's like that's still the same me, but I had fun on Love is Blind and they didn't show that side of me.
Yeah.
Like, only showed the one side that was like going through a lot and figuring out fall in love and get married in 6 weeks. So, I mean, but to that sense, on this show, I definitely felt wiser, so that's why I feel like I wasn't the same person. I just felt wiser. I was still like, if anything, I felt like, finally, like I can be myself here. And that made me like very happy. I was just so happy throughout the entire show, really. But like, as far as like who I was in Love is Blind here, I think wiser would be the better word. And like, it was just fun. I mean, I felt like seasoned. I was like, like maybe more like throw me in there, throw me in here. You want me to make out with 3 people in the hot tub? Like
too soon.
Oh, I felt for you, man. I was like, oh no. Oh no.
Brutal to watch right there. And I had my hand on her leg while she was making out with James.
Wow.
Yeah.
Devastating.
Yeah, devastated. And there was a lot they didn't show that night too. Of me like talking with James and Joey and me talking with like Angelina and then even you talking with James and Joey. Like I
talked to them right after.
Yeah, right after. And yeah, I remember there was a moment where James was like, well, I guess she chose me or something. And then like an hour later, she came down and was like, she just told me she wants you still. And he was like so confused. They didn't show that, but like it was a funny moment of James being like, why'd she kiss me? Like, it was like one of those moments.
Did you immediately do a backflip and a death drop after you heard that news?
I definitely remember like smiling, like a grin, like a kind of like a ooh good, like like one of those moments. But
you ignored me all night.
Yeah, and then I was a little frustrated. Yeah. You've been giving me signs for like 36 hours.
I know. Yeah, how dare I?
All 36 hours we have known each other. You're on me.
No, but I at one point I even got on camera and I was like, I don't want any of them. I was like, take all of them away. Like this is getting to be ridiculous.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Well, and what I always say, because I didn't watch her season of Love is Blind, so I don't know the way she was portrayed or anything. But like, even for me too, especially is like people, and in the real world, people will bring out certain sides of you. Like I know, like I've been in a relationship where I was like fighting constantly and very hard, like very hard headed. Like we just fought. Yeah. But like that woman brought out that in me. And I think that's what happened to me on like, Bachelorette, like for some reason, like that environment and those people like brought out that like gaping vagina in me. And,
Yeah.
and where I think like, from what I've heard, like G was, a telenovela show and like was like very like
we just brought out the worst in each other.
It happens.
Let's quickly. I have 2 photos. We're going to put them up on the screen here for the people watching at home. Quickly, just a few sentences about what you would say to this person in this moment. So first,
yes.
What do you say to this girl in the moment right there? What would you like to say to her?
I'd like to say, go for it, baby. Fucking tell him off.
Yes.
Let's go.
It's even harder. And that, the next 2 years are going to be really hard, but they're going to be really worth it. Yeah. And what the fuck why were you so blonde?
So blonde.
So some people come up to her and be like, I think you're Gigi, but like I'm not sure because they don't recognize that blonde hair. It's so funny.
That's hilarious.
It was strange. I remember watching that, and it was the first reality show I watched where like cursing was allowed because like it was so jarring. But I was like, oh, this feels so much more real. And I saw you up there, and as soon as you started going, I was like, fucking go! Go! Let's go! Get out of there!
Yeah.
And then you fell. I was like, that's fine. Get up. You're strong. You got this. Let's do this. We're all together in this.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's good to hear. It was not how I felt at the moment. But, I mean, I had to – what really drove me to walk back in there was my mom saying, like, you should have been the one to say no. Let's go. And I was like, Mama, there's no way in hell I'm going to leave by falling on my ass while this man tells me no at the altar.
Yeah.
I'm going back. So
absolutely. Good for you.
Good for you. Blake, it's your turn. What do we say to this gentleman right here? What do we say to this guy?
God.
First of all, the towel was because it was very hot, and I feel you. As a guy from Florida, a big dude, I hate wearing suits. You put a suit on me, I feel like I'm suffocating.
It was, I mean, I don't even, it was like 100, I heard somebody said it was like 115% humidity, and it was like almost 100 degrees. We're in Bali, or the Maldives. And what people don't know is I was first, I was the first.
Yeah.
I actually sat there for 2 hours in the sun while they were finishing setting everything up. So I was already sweating profusely and smelly. And so I was already very, very hot walking up. I sat out there for 2 hours. God. And I had producers fanning me and then giving me water, trying to keep me cool while they finished setting everything up. Cause that's what Hollywood is just hurry up and wait. That's all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so that people don't know that, but I would tell that guy that, gosh, the next 2 years of your life are going to be some of the highest highs and lowest lows, that you will ever, that, most people can even think about, and, that are going to happen to you. And I think you all, in a way, you have to kind of lose everything to really appreciate kind of what you have. And I definitely think I did. I think I did lose not only everything, but myself, at times. And so I was able to, now I appreciate everything so much more. But yeah, in that moment, that towel was because I was sweating. It was because I was crying too. It was a little bit of all of that involved. And there was snot, and there was it was just brutal.
All of it.
What happened was I was crying so hard. I think actually my producer, who I was very close with, and I'm still pretty close with, I was very close at the time. She actually while we were filming, I think she was fuck it, walked in front of the camera and handed me a towel because it was just so much happening. And they let me cry into that towel for a good 15-20 minutes before we got going again. But yeah, I mean, that was just a moment of complete and utter and it's weird in The Bachelorette, and it's this is what makes it so kind of unrealistic. Well, most of the shows kind of unrealistic as far as dating multiple people and everything. But I knew in that moment she's engaged with somebody else. That's a really weird feeling. You go from almost being engaged with this woman to then suddenly she's engaged with somebody else. So that was going through my head at the time too. So I would just tell them to buckle up. The next few years of your life are going to be absolutely, insane. But it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it at the end of it for G and just everything that my career now and everything that I've kind of built from that. Definitely was at rock bottom, but I was able to come back from that. So.
Were you? Well, I'm very happy for both of you. I also think both of you went through something very similar, and that's a very good thing to experience separately, but also know how it feels to be in those situations.
Yeah.
When you get out and you're first, do you know you're first? Do the people first have a feeling that they're first? And how do you physically, mentally deal with, I still have to go make this television show, but boy, am I going to get kicked in the dick here.
Yeah, so I didn't know I was first, but the only reason I thought maybe I was because of how long I waited. I was like, clearly they're still setting shit up. I think that was maybe a mistake on their part, because I was like, this is weird. It's 10:30 in the morning and I'm sitting here for the last 2 hours. Like,
there's no way they filmed anything before this.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do know there was a couple episodes or a couple seasons where like, it's actually the lead's choice. They can either propose first and then dump, or dump and then propose. So even being first, I knew the odds were that I was like, that's not a good sign. You play the odds. But at the same time, I was like, I still, you hold out hope, if you will, you hold out hope. And walking up to her, could not tell walking up to her, like not at all. She was not sweating at all. You know what I mean? Like she was like, she didn't look stressed. Like she had a smile on her face. So in that sense, when I walked up there, I had a great feeling about everything. I was wrong, but at the time
that went away quick.
Yeah, that went away quick as soon as she said something, and then she put her head down, and that's when I was like, fuck.
G's reaction right there was mine watching that. It was just me going, oh no! Why am I watching this? This feels wrong, but I was watching it. I was like, oh, this poor guy is going through it. And then,
it was brutal for sure.
I've always thought, you have to have, like, you've been shooting in production for so long, you kind of like start to pick up things. I'm like, okay, it's 8:30 in the morning. There's no way they filmed 4 hours of this beforehand, And
it's so funny too, because there's a producer, and at the time I didn't know this, but there's a producer who everybody calls the Grim Reaper. And if she comes into your ITM, you're going home. And so I remember I had my producer the whole time. I'd have my producer, and she was great. She was like, she could feel that I was starting to be like, oh no, like I'm going first, like I'm freaking out. It's not going to be me, it's going to be Garrett. And all of a sudden the Grim Reaper comes in, and she is so good at her job. And within minutes, she had me like ready to run through a brick wall for love. You know what I mean? It was like I was ready to go. So like, and they know that. And I remember they like, and it was like she got out of the chair, and the Grim Reaper sat down, and it was like go time. You know. And so in that sense, they're very good at their jobs. They're very good at their jobs, and we know what they're doing.
Absolutely. I wanna end on your guys' relationship, because it's the most important. You guys being together was a quote unquote secret, but I want to say you went official around or during the premiere. Was that because you guys, no offense, did a terrible job hiding your relationship, or were they encouraging you to come out as a couple in hopes to maybe get more viewers on the show?
So actually, I think, so at first, like, we kept wanting to go public, right? We kept wanting to go public, and they kept pushing it back. Mm-hmm. And they said we could go public the Thursday, because that's when it premiered in the UK. So they're like, fine, you can go Thursday. But then I think they hit us up and they were like, we want you to wait all the way till after the first, like, 3 episodes or 4 episodes. And we were like, no. We were like, listen, we've waited 6 months. We want to do this. We think it'll be great for the show. We kept saying that. Like, we think it'll be great for the show. A lot more people will be interested to see how this happens, because it is a pretty crazy match. So in that sense, we weren't very good at hiding it. We
got outed in Christmas.
Mm-hmm. New Year's.
Yeah. New Year's. So we got outed for New Year's. And then it was like, oh, okay, so it's like out already. But it's not a dating show, so I can say that I have a significant other, but not who/show their face. Also, I'm spending 24/7 with this man. Like, how am I not going to include him in my life? And the way that I live my life is posting on social media. So it's like, oh, are you in Italy by yourself? No, I'm on a sexy birthday date.
Yeah.
Boyfriend, like, here's his foot. Like, let me at least show him.
With a hand or
with a hand, or like him cheering me, So it's just me, like, just being honestly like, just really happy in my relationship and wanting to share that. Like that I'm not crying over Damien, asshole. Stop.
Yeah, leave her alone, okay? Do you see how fire these photos are of her on IG, people? Leave it alone.
Yeah.
I need advice. My Instagram game, I'm a personality. I'm not a poser. I'm not a photo guy. Can you give me some advice? Because your feed is fucking immaculate. These poses, the makeup, the fits, as the kids say. It's okay.
Yeah, you need Blake. That's what it is.
I need Blake.
Secret weapon.
Okay,
you come to LA, maybe I'll get some better photos of myself to post.
Gigi, do you have to teach him? Did you have to teach him a lot?
He thinks
I'm pretty good.
Great. and now we're making it even better.
Well, I think
what a good way of saying that.
I think what she's lucky with is like I understand the game. So like I'm not the kind of guy to be like, oh, photos, but it's her job, makes her money. So I'll do as many photos as she wants.
He literally never complains.
Yeah, so it's like in that sense, I think not most guys would be like to put your phone away, but like I get it because I'm in the industry. You're
like, oh, stay right there. Get a phone.
Yeah, totally.
Don't move.
Yeah. There's pop. Yeah, like you should
portrait mode. Watch out. Portrait mode.
So in that sense, she's like, but yeah, I mean, I definitely have gotten better at taking photos, especially photos of you. Like you like photos a certain way and a certain angle and certain height and all that stuff. But
can you give us any of that advice, G? Like what does the average person at home need to know about taking better photos for the gram? Like what do we got to do?
The gram. Honestly, just feel like comfortable in whatever it is like that you're in. Like if you feel uncomfortable in a pose, most likely you're gonna look awkward as shit. Like if you feel uncomfortable in your clothes, most likely it's not gonna, come across the lens. So you just want to be comfortable, and I think like what he loves to do, and it's always gonna make you feel good about the picture and give people a good feeling when they see the picture is like just you having fun, like smiling or just like I love candids. So if you have someone or an app that you can put to do like a burst of like 100 pictures, you only need one. So like to every picture is like 350 maybe. So just like keep snapping and have fun. And
there's one thing I always said when I first met her and stuff. Looked at her, I was like, "You need
show
more."
Your ass and tits.
That's not what I said. That is not what I said. No,
it works.
I was like, you need more genuine, like smiley, like photos. And so sometimes I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm done." And then I'll keep snapping and catch her in like a moment of her like smiling at the camera, like maybe she wouldn't normally, or smiling at me, thinking I was taking a photo. And those usually are the ones that you pick. I feel like, those are like usually the ones that she picks. So the more genuine, the better.
The first one or the last one? It's always the first.
Yeah,
one
the first one or the last one.
Because the first one you're caught off guard, and the last one you're more relaxed. So it's like more relaxed.
Okay, I'll try that next time.
Yeah, try that. Yeah.
I'll tag you guys, and then you can respond if I did better.
Know your angles. Like this is my good side. That's it. All goes from this side.
Well, okay. I want to figure out now. So, how's the relationship now? Where is home base? Or what are the plans for the future? Just kind of give us the rundown of what you guys are thinking.
Yeah, this is the part where we become Us Weekly for one thing.
Just for like a minute.
This is the minute where we get back into the zone, and will be the only thing that gets picked up by a magazine.
Yeah, I'll buy all that. Yeah. Denver's home base right now. Denver's definitely home base. She loves Florida.
Who doesn't?
I like Florida.
Blake doesn't like Florida.
It's too hot. It is too hot.
It's the humidity, I feel.
It's the humidity. It's
Colorado's too cold.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I'm cold right now.
It's cold 3 months of the year.
South Carolina is a good middle piece. I lived there for a while. They have a Publix in Charleston, so you're okay.
Oh, shut up. I get pub subs.
Pub subs. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pub subs with the sweet tea. Let's go.
She is definitely going to move in. I just need to do a grand gesture of asking her, but it is going to happen. We're going to figure, I've lived in this house. It'll be a year next month. I just bought this gorgeous house in Denver. And it's so funny. I went from being a single bachelor with no dogs to suddenly I have a roommate with a dog, a girlfriend with a dog, and I have a dog. And like overnight, I just grew up. Overnight, I went from having this giant house to myself to suddenly a full house. Yeah. So
I love it.
I love it. So.
All-Star Shore is going to put that on their resume, by the way.
Yeah,
we turned Blake into an adult.
I don't know. I want to go that far.
No, never. I'm never going to be an adult. But yeah, we're still having a lot of fun. It'll be, what do you say, 9? Is it 9 months?
What month is it? We go by the month.
September.
So 9 months.
Yeah, 9 months. We've been together and just as much fun as it was the first month, and that's.
Love that.
Yeah, it's been awesome. And this is, I think, the second longest relationship I've ever had. I don't know about, how long?
5.5.
Oh, yeah, that one before.
Yeah, you got some time.
Yeah. We'll check back in.
Yeah, okay.
When people sign up with her, they're not getting the check early, my guy. So, yeah.
But, it's been awesome. It's been amazing. She's my best friend. And I think the coolest thing about us is, we just have so much fun together.
That's important.
Yeah. And it's crazy, too. We were talking just this weekend because I played a music festival out in Nashville. She loves to travel and go to music festivals. So
I was about to say.
That's
what a great situation for you now. You get to be backstage, grouping it up good. Yeah.
Crazy the way everything worked out was that it's some people have don't like festivals because a lot of people and it's a little bit of mayhem and she loves it and it's traveling all the time and she just absolutely. So I'm lucky enough to have a girlfriend that loves the same thing I do. And, we really support each other in a lot of different ways.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're 100% partners.
Yeah.
Is how I feel.
Yeah.
We get it. We do things for each other. And, it's just so harmonious. Mm-hmm. And, even the way we fight, we, go at it. And then we're just okay,
yeah.
Do we want to cuddle and watch TV right now?
Yeah.
So I just think it's thank you, All-Star Shore, for bringing me the
pretty crazy.
Thank you, All-Star Shore, from us as well. It's the best fucking show that's ever existed.
Let's hope season 2. Fingers crossed for season 2 soon. So
yeah, I would love that. Would you guys go back if they asked you?
Oh yeah. If they ask,
100%.
I don't know.
You got to get your redemption story of winning here. The person who was clearly most into knowing how the game works. You explaining it to everybody. You realize there's money on the line, guys. Yeah,
that was real. That was.
I believe that.
People did not know what was going on.
There's a strategy of who we can vote in.
Yeah, and even when we were telling the rules of the game, I was like, guys, it's not hard. You run over there, you spin 3 times, you run back. I was getting so frustrated.
But they couldn't hear DJ Pauly D. Only you could hear DJ Pauly D. So you had to tell them.
Oh, I was just so frustrated at times. And some of the production would come up to me thank you. At least one guy gets it.
Yeah.
It was just it was really funny. Yeah.
I was translating all the rules from Spanish to English, from English to Spanish.
Yeah.
Just because half the cast didn't know what the hell was happening.
Yeah, it was frustrating at times. It was very difficult at times.
Were you also, during that final one, when they were flipping the cups, me and Mixie nearly punched a wall watching
my God.
The most untalented flip cupping of our lives.
It was the most. It might be the most infuriating thing I've seen on TV.
It was me. So I think really me and Johnny were the only people who really knew and had played a lot of flip cup in the past. So me and John, you did too. You had two.
Mixie's really good. Mixie is a pro over there. Mixie is, yeah.
But me and Johnny were standing next to each other being no way this is happening.
No, it was torture.
No, it was torture watching. I was just oh my God, I was just losing it.
$150,000.
Yeah, what if it did to flip a fucking cup? $150K to flip a cup. I was just standing, and we were so close, to getting there, and I know I would have just dominated that, and I was just, it was just so frustrating to watch. So
but if you did, you wouldn't have been able to see Potro throw his helmet at the speed of light after that.
He was mad.
Yeah.
He was really. There was a lot.
I would be pissed too if I was
big
him.
Time mad.
And Vanjie was just demoralized.
Yeah.
He was just, I couldn't get it. He was just I couldn't get it. Yeah. I was I'm sorry.
He was sending it to the fucking moon. Just flip it one time, dude. Come on.
It was to the moon and then barely tipped over. There was no middle ground.
It was a lot to watch. And then that final game was really fun to host. That final.
Yeah, that's awesome that you got to host that.
Yeah,
did they come up to you and ask you to do that, or did you offer?
Yeah, so again, like halfway through, I realized like I had only read like one card. And I was like, they fucking hate me. I was like, I'm not getting interviewed. I'm not reading any cards. I'm like, what is happening? And then they came up to me and they're like, we've been saving you for this final thing. Like, we need you to go. They even said, they were like, we want you to go full Chris Harrison. They were like, we need you to like own the moment and really host. And I was like, oh, thank God. That's why you haven't used me. You know, I was like, so it was really fun to host. And it was a really intense game. And like they told me, they were like, we need you to make it even more intense. Slowly turn the table. Ask, like, are you sure? Like things like that. I was like, I can do this. I was like, I'm in. Yeah.
It was crazy.
So
it
was a cool moment.
Yeah. I wanted to win the money, but I could not picture myself in Marina and James's positions because it would just be fucking nerve-wracking.
She killed that.
He did such a good job.
She did great.
I was like, he's gonna say flip it around, and then her change of the face. I'm like, oh, he's gonna flip it back. Oh, he's gonna flip it back, and then big brain move right there.
Way to go, Marina.
Yeah. I mean, that explains why she won the circle too, because that's kind of what the circle is.
It's literally
is.
She was that game was like made for her.
Yeah,
she was very good at it.
It was made for her, exactly.
Absolutely.
I was pretty bummed we didn't get. I mean, I don't think we will get a reunion.
We were sad too.
Oh, I was, because I think that reunion would have been insane.
Oh,
because there was some.
Great.
Yeah. I think it would have been pretty wild to see. So I'm pretty bummed we didn't get that, unfortunately.
So. You guys could have all come down the Siemens staircase and then sat down.
Slide down in your dresses and suits. Yeah. Just covered in it. Yeah. So two final things here. We had somebody pretty high up at MTV, VH1, Paramount, basically, have Jersey Shore tweet about the podcast because we were the only one doing it. So he's listening, obviously. So we want this to be your formal pitch to be on The Amazing Race, because I would pay money to see you two on The Amazing Race.
Yeah.
One, would you do it? Two, have you already been approached about it? Because listen, perfect situation. As you already said, you can speak another language. Like, huge
Love
for
to
Amazing
travel.
Race. Love to travel. Take great pics at international destinations where the first and the last photo are going to be the best. Like, this is just set up perfectly for you guys. Would you be interested in the race?
I think Amazing Race would be for all those reasons you said, and then also like we're actually very competitive. Like we are. You saw like very competitive people.
Yeah,
and it would be fun because like we'd work as a team, but also like I think we understand each other's weaknesses and strengths very well. Like I get lost in like super targets. Like I have no sense of direction. So in that sense, that would be all like G and stuff. And so I think it would be fun to see us as a couple on this show, knowing our weaknesses and if you're listening right now, please, me and G would love to go on The Amazing Race. But somebody told me that they don't have people that's been on past shows. Is that true?
That's incorrect, because they had like a whole influencer season, and they have Rex Ryan is about to be on.
Oh, okay. So that is I'm gonna start tweeting, and I'm gonna start tweeting.
Yeah, get in there.
Tagging them and everything. Yeah,
you can use this clip to campaign. Allowed you to use this clip to campaign.
Yes.
There you go.
We'll talk to our friends too.
G is very world traveled. Like you.
Well, you two would go together. I think you guys have to be together to do it.
I like to like get into like the thick of things too, and like I'm someone that will like jump off a cliff. You know? Like,
I say no. I am a yes man. I am a yes man.
I'll like, do all the crazy things, and I love it. I'm probably I'm honestly made for shit like that, and so like I put myself through those situations. Like I'll go hiking by myself.
And she travels alone a lot. She used to.
Yeah. We went to Arizona and like traveled all these like mountains and like rocks and shit, and we're just like shitting in the woods and having a good time.
I love it.
So I can't wait to listen to this interview again, like the day of your season premiere of the.
Yes.
I'm just like it started here. It started here. We're cheering for you. Definitely win.
Appreciate it.
Well, it is time for the final question that we ask absolutely everyone we interview on this show, and it is extremely important to us, and you must answer it. This is a must. pineapple on pizza?
I'm a yes.
Yeah.
I didn't used to be, though.
Okay.
It's grown on me. I am a yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'll eat just about it.
Once I tried it, I was so scared to try it. Then I tried it, and now I like it.
Yeah, no.
I agree.
I don't think that it's a bad thing. I just think, like, have a good crust, have some good cheese, and like some juicy pineapple. Don't give me none of that Papa John's shit.
Guess we're not getting ads by Papa John's.
Yeah, there you go. Papa John's is out.
They're out. We'll try to get you another brand deal with all of the zero sponsors we have. I actually do have 2 more fun follow-ups because you guys have just been really cool, and we appreciate you guys being here. How weird is it that like Stagecoach nearly took you down for a while, and then last year you're performing at Stagecoach? Like, how does that like mentally wrap around in your head? And then Gigi, can you confirm or deny that DJs are great with their hands?
I'll answer first. It was a very surreal moment, and it was kind of like, it was obviously very full circle, but for me personally, it was like kind of a like, I always say like one of the biggest things I got out of Bachelor is this chip on my shoulder. Like I kind of want to now be like, even though you tried to bury me, I'm still going to come out on top. And so that was a bit of a moment for me for validation for myself. And I know sometimes like it's dumb to be like, you need that to be validated, but it was like a moment of like, I did it. Like it was kind of almost like a closing of that book. Time to move on. So that was like a cool moment for me. And it was a bit of a middle finger for sure. You know what I mean? It was a bit of
and
like,
we love that.
We love that for you.
Like, look at me now. So yeah, your turn.
Wow, you're really excited about this answer. I can confirm that he definitely knows where the button is.
Ayo!
Amazing! Air horns! Well, thank you guys so much for talking with us. We really appreciate it. This was so much fun.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. All the best to you, and thank you for entertaining us. You've been great.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Mixie, I forgot that you were in that like closet setup for so long in New York.
I was. I really was. It was a struggle bus, but I did it.
Upgrade. Look, you got like a boom arm. You're in a room. You're in a chair, not sitting on the floor now.
Sitting on a chair. Nani would freak out.
First world problems. First world problems. That was so much fun. I enjoyed watching that again. I enjoyed editing it, even though it had been so long. It was so much fun. You can tell how much they're like just staring at each other like, God, you're so hot.
I know.
So attractive.
Their love for each other like warms my heart. I love it so much. I'm so glad that they are now moved in together and all of that has been ironed out. They are a happy little couple, an All-Star Shore family, and I don't know if you saw this, Steven, but All-Star Shore 2 is in the works right now. So we will have another season of All-Star Shore. Thank God.
Thank God.
I cannot wait for that. So you guys can make sure you check in with us. We will be recapping that.
Of course we will.
Obviously.
Yeah, we're not losers over here at the number one, okay? That's it. That is it. Thank you for continuing to listen. We had 3 big episodes of our week of our 250th, so that worked out very well. We love all the support. Leave a comment, leave a review, subscribe. That is actually kind of important for the level we're at on YouTube. So even if you don't want to subscribe, just do it. It's not going to do anything. Like, we need 1,000 to start making money. So come on.
Be helpful, Yeah.
Be helpful for once in your miserable lives. Start manifesting things for other people. You're all hot. You can manifest for us, okay?
Absolutely.
Right, we'll see you next week. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.